seed dislodgement takes place from this brush, which is exposed here, and this combing drum, which is essentially a threaded screw on PVC that's a 1/4 inch deep. And so when that seed stem goes in to the groove, the brush is coming the other direction, makes a pinch point, and dislodges the seed. I kind of like to say that a combine's a combine, a stripper's a stripper, and this is a plucker. Once you get the seed to dislodge, we've got an advantage with seeds that are awned or hairy or have barbs, calluses, paired inflorescences, all the stuff that makes a combine slower as it separates seed and chaff that are a little too close together in density. Those are advantages for this seedster. It helps to pluck it. And the simplest way to think about it is if it sticks in your socks, we've probably got an advantage. So we don't spend any time separating, but rather just plucking. Now, once you get that seed dislodged, then you got to take it from here into a collection chamber. That airflow goes in and goes to the seed chamber, no plugging. Lexan is lighter than steel. So by using Lexan, you've got a weight advantage. You can also see through it, tells you when it's full, and you don't need to worry about breaking that. And when the automotive people went to using glue for assembly, it addresses the problem that when you weld something, that metal crimps a little bit and moves a little bit on you. So you've got stable shape. All these shapes are designed using a 3-dimensional software program called SolidWorks. That means that you're building rifles instead of building muskets. Each one comes out the very same. There are a lot of little features like this brush here. As this goes faster and faster, it starts to behave like a solid surface. And those seed heads, if you watch it in high-speed video, they dance on the top of that. Okay, so that makes for a gentle dislodgement process. You'll see after we do the trial here in the field that the seed will have taken place, but we want to have firm removal of the ripe seed and gentle non-removal of the unripe seed so you can go back and make a later harvest. Those dribble off and will come around and carry around and be lost. This air assist brush adds real localized air, and it also cleans all the seed off of that combing drum and gets it up into the airflow to take it out back into this chamber. We wanted to build a modular system so that all you needed to do was add these together like Lego blocks and make a wider version of the same machine. If you've got some seed that's lodged, Ken doesn't have anything here that's lodged, but if you had a rainstorm and that went down on the ground, you wanted to pick this up, you might go on the bias a little bit from what your wind had done to that lodging. And this angle will cause that to come up, kind of like picking up one shingle and the next shingle lifts with it. And of course, each lodged field is different here on this end of the field than it was on that end of the field. So, you know, I'm not saying picking up lodged seed is easy, but that's how you go. That's the reason for those parts. Maggie and I have talked about it a lot, and Mark too, and Wade. It takes a lot more work to design simplicity than to design a complicated system. Wade, let's pull it down enough we can see the manifold. In this manifold, you've got 3 motors being powered out of that manifold, and you've got one set of hydraulic hoses coming up from the rear into the manifold. These gauges are here because we're carefully checking all our pressures. That's not going to be on a commercial model. You'll actually have that in the cab. But essentially this air assist brush will go up to a max and then there'll be no more air, so we just set at that speed. It's running one speed. There's no point in changing it. This one's variable if you want it, but there's no reason to vary that continuous groove comb. We also offer, and you can see on the side, that you can easily remove a comb drum shaft. If I had two species, one that needed a different comb, I'd have another set of combs. And what type of species might that be? It could be an Indian rice grass, and you'd like to have some edge on that comb, and you'd want to be monkeying with the adjustment of the speed so you get a little threshing action to knock that hard seed out of those pods. Fast unload, fast clean out, fast hookup, convenient hookup, hydraulic 2 hoses to connect at the rear, the manifold, and the conduiting of the hoses. And I think probably you want to watch where your wear points are according to how your loader is. I think probably this is a good place. Carrie pointed this out to me the other day. At their place, you know how it is, enough hours, enough time with a hydraulic hose rubbing against even a smooth corner. So those are things that just take judgment on it. Well, I don't think there's any point for me going on. Let's let the machine talk.